Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today is August 27, 2021, and this is the last story I have to share from my Bible Friends, Volume 5. This is about Jabel the Shepherd, and if you read Psalms 23 or read Psalms 23 like I challenged you to do in the last video, then you are ready to hear about Jabel the Shepherd, which is also about Jesus being our shepherd. If you've ever heard any of the stories about the wanderings of the children of Israel after they came out of Egypt, then you know that sheep are similar to the Israelites. They don't learn, they're kind of stupid, and we may say, oh my goodness, will they ever learn? You know, stop worshiping idols and start worshiping the Lord. But the thing is, we are just like them, and we don't learn that either. But, so I just wanted to catch you up real quick. Everything is doing well here. We are getting ready to do our move. We're thinking within the next 2 or 3 weeks. It's almost the end of August. We thought we would do our closing by now, but it hasn't happened. Yesterday we did our walkthrough. There's a few things they're going to fix, and they're waiting on some other paperwork, and then we go in and sign, and the house is ours and we can start moving. So I may share some crafty things once we get moved into our house. I know I want to show you some of the things I've been working on. One is I've been learning crochet. They started some life groups at church where if you have a hobby or something you're interested in and people get together. Well, one of the groups is crochet, and I've been learning that. I got some really fat yarn and a big hook yesterday at the store. And so I'm going to try and crochet a blanket, some blankets, some scarves, and things like that. So, this is like one of the best stories, I think, in this book. Of course, as I've told you many times before, I enjoy all these stories and the artwork. There is, I believe, a lot of the artwork is by Robert Barron. B-E-R-R-A-N. Let me show you his name here. Etta B. DeGearing, I believe she adapted these stories for this book. Now, to start you off with the sheep story is the picture in the front. The book is a not really a modern day farm, but it could have been. It's probably in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And there's these 3 children, and they are feeding baby lambs. They might be orphan lambs. Sometimes mother lambs reject their babies if they have too many or something's gone wrong. So, let's start here with Jabel the Shepherd. And this, well, at least not this particular story, but you can also find some references in Matthew 18 and in Luke 15. I believe Luke 15 is about the prodigal sheep, the one sheep that was, and Matthew 18, I hadn't read up on that, but Psalm 23 is another good one. So, Jabel the Shepherd. Jabel the Shepherd lived in a little stone hut on a rocky mountainside in Judea. Jabel the Shepherd lived in a little stone hut on a rocky mountainside in Judea. 10 steps and a jump from the little stone hut, Jabel had built his sheepfold, laying stone upon stone upon stone. Jabel owned 100 sheep. There were rams with curled horns and ewes with small lambs. All of the sheep, rams, ewes, and lambs had thick woolly coats and long fatty tails. There's Jabel in his stone hut. And here's his 100 sheep in the sheepfold that he built. He had to have a wooden door, but the rest of it is stone. Now it looks pretty short, but the sheep aren't going to jump over it. Probably not. Jabel's sheep obeyed him. When Jabel called, "Ta-ho," which means come to me, his 100 sheep came running, their hoofs click-clack, click, click, clacking on the stony ground of the mountain. There he is, calling ka-ho-oh. When Jabel made the sound of a dog howling, ooh, ooh, pressed together, the sheep huddled in a tight little group. And there's the sheep pressing together in the tight little group. And when Jabel said, la-ah, la-ah, lie down, all the 100 sheep lay down. And there's the sheep laying down. Soon after sunup every morning, Jabel opened the sheepfold gate and called, ta-ho-oh, ta-ho-oh. Ba, ba, answered the rams. Ba, said the ewes. Ba, bleated the lambs. And they all followed Jabel down the path. Once Jabel carried the littlest lamb, or often Jabel carried the littlest lamb while the lamb's mother walked by Jabel's side. There he is carrying the baby sheep. And this must be its mama. Now sheep, you can't run them like you can some other things, so that is why he's leading the sheep. And you can see it's a stony ground there. Very rough. No place to eat there. Jabel led his 100 sheep to a green grassy place where they could feed. But at the edge of the green grassy place he called, la, 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 la. And although the sheep were hungry, they lay down. Jabel carefully searched the green grassy place for poisonous weeds and poisonous snakes. The weeds he pulled up, and when he hit the ground with his staff, the snakes wiggled away. Now that the green grassy place was safe for sheep, Jabel called, ta-ho-oh, come and eat. Hey, there's the sheep laying down obediently. There's Jabel's staff, and he's pulling the weeds. And there's a snake slithering away. It's got its tongue out. Some pretty blue flowers. Don't want the sheep to get sick. While the rams and the ewes nibbled grass, the lambs played follow the leader. Around a bush here and another one there. Jumping over a not too big rock, the lambs raced one after the other. When a lamb became hungry, he didn't nibble grass, he got milk from his mother. And all the while Jabel stood by, keeping watch over his 100 sheep. There he is on a rock, so he can see the whole herd, countryside. Here's the sheep running around, the little lambs running around the rock. Can't see that one's face, it's in the fold of the book. And there's the sheep nursing. Some more sheep. See any with horns on them. Ah, here's one. He's got horns on him. He's keeping watch over his sheep. In the afternoon, Jabel called, ta-ho, and led his sheep away from the green grassy place. A long way they must now go to find water. 1 drink a day was all the sheep needed, but 1 drink they must have. The path was stony, the bushes thorny, the caves along the way dark and deep, where Jabel led his 100 sheep. Out of a cave came a hungry wolf, sneaking along behind the sheep. There's a dusty path. You can see the dust they're kicking up. You can see the stony path, and there's the wolf. He's sneaking out of his den. He'll wait till Jabel and the sheep go by and sneak up behind him. Sneaking. When the path led into a valley, the wolf, with a snarl and a leap, rushed at the flock of 100 sheep. The wolf's plan was to scatter the sheep, then chase a ewe or a lamb back up the valley toward his wolf cave, far away from the shepherd and the shepherd's stout staff. See, what did I tell you? He waits till they get past, and then he starts running after them, and these sheep are frightened, aren't they? They're the ones at the end. And they're hurrying. See, when they get frightened, they scatter. They don't come together. That's why Jabel is there. In a flash, Jabel leaped to a rock, calling, "Ooh, ooh, ooh." And though the sheep were scared and wanted to run, they obeyed Jabel's call. Together they pressed tighter, 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 so tight the wolf could not scatter them. He'll just get a mouthful of fur. Then Jabel jumped down from the rock, and with his long staff he whacked and he thwacked the robber wolf and drove him away from the sheep. That's another reason he has a long staff. See, the wolf wants to get at the sheep's throat, and then he can bite it and kill it. But if he's just got, their hindquarters, then he can't get much. Oh, sorry, I guess I'm getting a little emotional over the story. After the battle with the wolf, Jabel called a gentle "Ta-ho" and led his sheep on down the path. Soon they came to a splashing, dashing stream. Now sheep cannot drink from a splashing, dashing stream, but Jabel knew what to do. He told his sheep, "La, la." Then he dammed up the splashing, dashing stream to make a quiet pool where they could drink. But one sheep disobeyed. Behind Jabel's back, one sheep slipped away up over the mountain. See, this is a wild, raging place, so he puts up some stones so it'll make a nice little pool down here. And remember, his calls said to lay down, so they laid down. Now, unless you have the book, you probably can't find it. But here is that one sheep. I hope you can see him. He's sneaking off away over there. Sneaking away. He's not obeying his master. He's running off. When the sheep had finished drinking at the quiet pool, Jabel led them home, carrying by turn the tired lambs. At the sheepfold gate, he counted his sheep as they entered one at a time. 1, 2, 3. He stooped to put cedar gum on a wound made by the wolf's fangs. 4, 5, 6. He poured oil on a tired ewe's head. On and on and on he counted to the last sheep, but the count did not come out right. One sheep was missing. There's a sheep with horns. There's a ram, and you can see this path goes up. It goes out off the page, out of the picture, and then it comes back around up here, and this is his stone house over here. So he is real close to the sheep. And he is pouring oil on the ewe's head, and that is for 2 reasons. One, for the soothing, but also that oil contained something like you would put what's the word I want? Dust on your animals to keep the liquid on their neck to keep the bugs off. Sheep can get parasites, and so that oil is to keep the parasites off them. Jabel closed the sheepfold gate. All but one of his 100 sheep were safe within the fold. 100 minus 1 is 99. That one had disobeyed. It had wandered away and was lost out on the mountain, where wolves howled and hunted at night. That sheep might be a wolf snack. Now Jabel was hungry, and he was tired, but he couldn't eat, and he couldn't sleep until he had found his wandering sheep. So, taking a torch to light the way, Jabel the Shepherd set out to find his one lost sheep. Back along the stony path Jabel trudged, searching to one side, then to the other. At the green grassy place he looked behind bushes. He called, "Ta-ho!" But no sheep came running. He has a torch. Kind of looks like the little horn that he was using to pour oil. They also use oil to keep lanterns lit. There's several stories where where somebody in the Bible used oil. So there's the sheepfold all closed up, and it's dark, and Jabel wants to go home, get maybe some bread or whatever he had in his house, and lay down, but you can see he's determined to go get his lost sheep. Past the deep dark caves where the wolf lived, on to the splashing, dashing stream where walked Jabel. Beside the quiet pool he stopped and called again. Ta-ho, ta-ho. Listen, did he hear an answer? Bah, came faintly from over the mountain. Bah. Jabel climbed the mountain, and there, down a steep bank, he found his lost sheep trapped in a thorny thicket. With his staff, Jabel rescued the frightened sheep. Then, placing it across his shoulder, he carried it the long way home. Jabel sang as he closed the sheepfold gate, for safe inside were his 100 sheep. Yeah, it looks like daylight's coming on. And there's his horn. Whatever he stuffed in there is all burnt down. There he's using his staff. See, it's crooked at the end so he can help pull a sheep out. You think that sheep is very happy to have fallen down this little ledge and be stuck in that thorny bush? No, and it's probably going to hurt a little for the shepherd to bring that back. Use his stick to get him out, but he's stuck. He has no way out. Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. My sheep hear my voice and follow me. Jesus' sheep are all the people of the world, brown or black, red, yellow, or white. The children are his lambs. Jesus calls for his sheep and lambs as did Jabel. He calls, come unto me. I will give you food. I will give you water. I will keep you safe. And there's that picture from the front of the book. It's a little bit bigger with more children. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, what you've done in your life, where you're going. Jesus loves you and wants to take you home to his house. If you read the first few verses of John chapter 14, Jesus says that he's going away and he's preparing a place for us. Have you ever had somebody say, I'm going somewhere and I'm getting things ready for you? Well, that's what Jesus is saying. It's the same picture. This one's shinier and the other one's a little bit bigger. But that's what Jesus said. He's gone to back to his home in heaven. And he's preparing a place for us, and he wants us to come live with him, no matter who we are, what our background, what we've done in our lives. Jesus is a forgiver, and he's loving. And you can't think of him as loving like human loving. That's different. Jesus will love us no matter what. Usually humans are conditional in their loving. Well, that was the end of it, and I just want to thank you all for coming along on this My Bible Friends journey. It's taken about, a little over a year for me to read one of these stories about every few weeks. And thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for sharing this with me. I don't know if I can get back and do some more videos. There's no trees where we're moving, but the place will be ours, and it's on one level, and we are very excited about this. We believe that God has brought us to this house that we're getting, and we have a wonderful neighbor that is moving in at the same time. So, if you'll behoove me one last time, I'd just like to say a prayer for you, if you don't mind. Dear Jesus, I just want to thank you for my friends and for family and for loved ones, For the friends and people that will be watching this video, I want you to bless them, each and every one. Help these videos, these stories, to have blessed them, and encourage them to go and read more of your love in the Bible. And hopefully they will find somebody out there, somebody close that can point them in the right direction towards you, toward a loving relationship with you, that no matter who they are, where they've been, where they're going, that you want to walk with them. And I just pray that you will bless them and keep them wherever they are. Keep our world safe. Be with our world leaders. Help this nasty COVID and all its variants to go away. And come back soon and help us to all be ready for you when you come back. Because you said you'd go away and prepare a place for us. And we want you to come back, and we want to go to this wonderful place you've prepared for us. So thank you for loving us, for guiding us, for being our best friend no matter what. We love you, Lord, and thank you for your many blessings. Amen. Thank you very much again for going on this journey. I encourage you to keep studying and to stay healthy and safe, and maybe I will see you again sometime in virtual world. Alright, bye guys.